Start the timer. 3 o'clock on the East Coast. Thank you for coming in today, ladies and gentlemen, to the first annual Virtue USA Flying Club. Let's get the performer briefing done first, and then I'll talk to the spectators thereafter. So all my performers, you guys are here. You're ready to go. You have the performer list is in the events channel if you didn't already know your order. All right, the briefing will be ended hopefully before 3:15. Then Jeffrey will do his Airshow introduction while I get myself airborne and start. All right, every performer should be on 123.45 frequency. That's the Airboss frequency. All right, that's where I'm going to be controlling you guys. And this is how it's going to work. I'm going to start. I'll Airboss myself. I'm going to say, and I'm only going to call you guys by your aircraft. So I'm going to call myself as Cessna 170. I'm going to call Nathan as Catalina. I'm going to call Chris as Extra. I'm going to call John, Ben, and Eric as the Stearman. I'm going to call Brant as a DC, or the C-47. Brant, you're going to be the C-47. Charles, you're going to hear yourself as Edge. Michael, you're going to hear yourself as Cessna 172. Rob, you're going to hear yourself as Caribou. John, you're going to hear yourself as Mitchell for your second act. Nicholas, you're going to hear yourself as Hookr. That's going to be kind of confusing potentially with Hookr, so just be careful. It's going to be Hookr. David, you're going to be P51, and Callsign Hookr, you're going to be Fat Albert. So listen for those names when I call you. The staging area is right where my aircraft is right now at the hold short point for runway 21. That's where you stage. So when I tell you, let's say I'm going to tell Nathan Catalina stage, that's where you stage, right at the hold short for runway 21. The instructions you're going to be listening for are takeoff, meaning that you can get airborne. It doesn't mean your time's going to start right away because the other aircraft is probably coming back inbound to land. So you're going to take off, you're going to go loiter to the south a little bit, and then I'm going to ask, are you ready? And if you're ready, once the airfield is clear, that's when I'm going to clear you into the box. Now, we don't have actual dimensions for the box. It's just saying, hey, the box is your show. Just keep it within a 5-mile radius and below 5,000 feet because that's what we're TFR'd for. Okay? Once I clear you into the box, you can come on in. Once you cross show center the first time, that's when the 8-minute timer will begin. You'll hear me say time started. Once you cross that show center, that's when you know your 8 minutes has started. You're also going to get a 2-minute warning, and then you will say, time's up, finish last pass. When you finish the last pass, you will hear me say, Catalina, return to land, at which point you will join a right downwind for runway 21 to come in for a landing. Okay? And it's going to be a little sloppy. I'm not expecting perfection, so if you need to ask me for clarity on any of these things, you can ask me on the Airbus frequency and I'll answer it. But for most of my instructions, you only need to respond with Roger. You don't need to give me a full readback. For the Airbus instructions, you only need to respond with Roger unless you have a specific question. Alright, we're going to stay right in the order that we have there. After Charles goes in the edge, we're going to have a 15-minute break so everyone can go use the restroom. The second half guys can position themselves into the ramp and all that fun stuff. Once you guys are completed with your show, by the way, if you're in the first half or whenever you get done, you can just pull off the runway and then put yourself park in the grass on the east side. Stay close to show center because we're going to take a group photo at the end. Alright? The only frequency you need to be on is 12345. We've got Nathan is going to take care of Unicom while he's not performing. He's also going to be coordinating with our good buddy Zachary from Chicago, who's got a TFR up for us. Okay? The only act that has more than 8 minutes is the 3 Stearman. Since they're doing a combined show with all 3 of them, they're going to get 16 minutes. Would you guys prefer a 8-minute warning as in halfway, or would you guys prefer a 5-minute warning and a 2-minute warning? What would you guys prefer in terms of the warnings?
5 and 2 is good by me.
5 and 2? Okay, so we'll give you guys 5 and 2. Sounds good. The big thing is, when you guys are taking off to loiter, you're going to loiter to the south of the field, please. You're going to loiter to the south of the field. This way, when your first pass is going to come from south to north, that's the way the wind is favoring. We're kind of taking off and landing on 2-1 without the wind favoring us, but that's kind of is what it is with the ramp there. The last act is going to be the only act that starts with a takeoff. So, Hookr, you're going to start, your timer will start when you take off initially and cross show center. Because I believe that's how you wanted it, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Everyone else will be airborne. So again, until I say time started when you do your first pass, remember, taking off does not count as your start time. You're going to go out, loiter to the south a little bit, and then when I tell you to enter the box, once you cross show center from that point, that's when your timer is going to start. And it's a hard timer. You might even hear my alarm bell go off on my phone in the background when I'm talking in airboss frequency. Now for my do any of the performers have any questions? Excuse me. Big thing for the performers, if let's say you have any kind of sim issue, or if you crash the sim, you will void the rest of your time, because there's really just not enough time for you to reconnect and do all that and reconfigure or whatever to fill the rest of your time. Now, if you have crash off and you bounce back into the air, we'll pretend we didn't see it and you can continue on with your show, that's fine. But if you have a hard crash of the sim, or you have any kind of sim issue, then your rest of your time will be voided. Unfortunately, that's just the way that we're going to have to work it. Spectators, you can listen to airboss frequency on 123.45. Do not communicate on airboss frequency. When a performance ends and we're in between performances, if you want to make some kind of comment like nice job or whatever, you can make it in the Discord only. Do not do it on the airboss frequency. You can monitor the airboss frequency, but do not make any comments unless it's in the Discord, and only make the comments in between acts. It needs to be dead silent in this Discord during the performances. Again, make sure you're staying clear of all the taxiways and runways. Please park in the grass on the east side of runway 321 for the spectators. And again, everyone that is Virtue Safe Flying Club, please squawk 4000 with Mode C on, just so we can identify ourselves as club members to Zachary. Zachary, do you have anything you want to add for us?
Nope, everything looks good.
Okay, Jeffrey, do you have anything you want to add for everyone, for the performers? Okay, very good. Are there any questions from anyone? Spectator, performer, anybody? Brant, do you want to be in charge of that since you're a little bit further down the line here?
Yeah, I can do that.
You commented on the
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you. Thanks, boss. Does anybody have any other questions?
I just want to confirm that the order of performances is the order that was in our performer thread, not necessarily the order lined up in the events channel currently.
It's it should be what's in the events channel currently. It should be the exact same thing. It's going to be me, Nathan, Chris, John, Ben, and Eric, Brant, Charles, 15-minute break, Michael, Rob, John again, Nicholas, David W, Callsign, Hookr. That is the order.
Okay.
That is the final order.
So do you lap on the taxiway in the same order as the performers?
No, you're just so Chris. When you're on deck, you're just gonna go from the ramp and you're gonna pull up right to the hold short line on runway 21, right where I'm sitting right now in the sim. November 124 Mike Charlie. If you can see me, you might be on Musfuss, so you might not be able to see me. But you see, there's an aircraft holding short of runway 21, right at the hold short bars.
I see you.
That's where you stage. Okay,
Right.
so I'll let you know when to stage. So pretty much once you see Nathan take off, once I tell the Catalina to take off, I'm going to tell you to stage. That's where you're going to stage. And then when it's time for you to take off, I'll let you know all that on the airboss frequency.
Sounds good.
Any other questions? See, I knew I could do this with time to spare. For Jeffrey, let the timer run on your stream. If anybody has any questions between now and 3:15, let me have it. I'm going to get myself airborne and start getting my plane set up for my performance. Again, radio silence in the Discord, except for in between performances, unless you have a very, very, very urgent question. Spectators and performers, except for Nathan, myself, and Jeffrey. Everyone else should be on 123.4 and nothing else. Let's see if we can put on a good show. Let me get myself airborne here. boss frequency is officially open. Cessna 170, please take off. And yes, you guys are going to hear me answer myself on Amboy Boss. It's going to be a little weird, I'm sorry. Guys, if you have your own personal discourse, please share Jeffrey's link for the Airshow event. That'd be great. Jeffrey, you just need to give me some kind of cue when you're, I think is he muted?
Yep.
I just need some kind of cue when you're done with your introduction, so that way I can clear myself into the box. Okay, I am watching your stream, so when you switch to my aircraft, that's my cue to enter the box. Copy that. "20 seconds. Showtime. Jeffrey, there's no voice on your stream yet, unless there isn't supposed to be.
You are looking live at Galesburg
confirm that no music.
Municipal Field
There we go.
here in Knox County, Illinois. The host of the virtual USA Flying Club Air Show. Super excited to be here. We'd like to thank the VATSIM for approving this event. We definitely know that that they're rare to be approved, and we're really thankful for them. We want to personally thank Roger Curtis, VATGov 12, Antonio Dujmovic, the VA Director, Brandon Barrett, VAT USA 1, and Shane O'Neill at VAT USA 5 for helping us through the process. Another big shout out goes to the Chicago RTC for providing our perimeter coverage for today's event. And we just wanted to point out that the VATSIM network provides a wonderful environment for all flight simulator enthusiasts, and especially for those that enjoy general aviation, as the Virtual USA Flying Club likes to promote. We're looking for continued growth for our club and the love of general aviation on the network. This message is from Mike Cinnante. He also wants to thank the Flying Club admin for helping him run the amazing community. He wanted us to know that there would be nothing, this club would be nothing without him. The other sponsors we'd like to thank today are our event streamers, namely me at twitch.tv JefforyB, Melvin Leroy at twitch.tv Melvin Leroy, N8033 Fox, as well as my mic is low. Mic volume is low. That's not good.
You're all right.
Okay, good.
It's
A little low.
And then Eric Lamar at Eric Flight. LeMarier. I know how to say LeMarier. Sorry about that. Okay, good. Also, our event sponsors today are Jet Pilot Cinnamon at Twitch TV Jet Pilot Cinnamon. Of course, VATSIM itself at vatsim.net. VAT USA in particular at vatusa.net. Slant Alpha Adventures is also an active member of the community at Twitch TV Slant Alpha Adventures. And don't forget about Downwind Sim Binoculars. They're the best binos in flight sim. You can find him at downwindsim.com. And lastly, Voyager in Aviation at Fly VOY. That's Foxtrot Lima Yankee Victor Oscar Yankee.net. So with no further interruptions, what we're going to do is switch over to our the field. We're going to see if we can pick up Mike, and then I'm going to take over my duties as the field announcer. So we should have Mike on the air. There we go.
Cessna 170 cleared into the box. Roger.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, that's Mike Cinnante out there in his Cessna 170 Bravo. That is the precursor to the more current Cessna 172. It was a conventional geared. Yes, I know, tricycle gear is not conventional. And he's also known, it's Mike Cinnante, he's also known as Jet Pilot Cinnamon. He streams on Twitch, twitchtv.jetpilotcinnamon. He's a real-life A320 pilot for a commercial airline. He's also a VATSIM controller in the New York RTAC, or the New York Controller Region. And he's also the proud founding father of the Virtual USA Flying Club. Mike formed the club to encourage and promote GA flying on the VATSIM network. He established the club in August 16, 2019, and it's obviously still going strong. We have approximately 600 members, There are 4 to 6 group flights each month, and we also have plenty of special events like this air show. We're really happy that Mike thought of this event, and he's able to pull it together. So he's approaching the field for his first pass. He's winging it, so we're going to figure out what he does when he does it, and hopefully everybody will be super excited about it. Hopefully, I think he's setting himself up for a high-speed, low approach and not some sort of tactical landing. Nice and level. Easy on the stick. Beautiful pass.
Time started.
Make his first low approach. High angle pullout. It's a beautiful looking livery. I think, who put that together? Oh, that would be me. Making his right-hand bank turn. He's got the evil livery on the nose. Coming back around. He's doing the impossible turn. Something that you might want to try if you were, ever engine out on a climb out. Lining back up for a low approach with a little bit of a parade pass there. Wing waggle for fun. The Cessna 170, by the way, it's an American single-engine 4-seat general aviation aircraft produced by the Cessna Aviation Aircraft Company, between 1948 and 1956. It was the predecessor of the Cessna 172, which turns out to be the most produced aircraft in history, and we are going to have a demonstration of a 172 later today. These were produced up until 1956, as I said. There was over 5,000 Cessna 170s built, and there's 2,000 still in service today. Mike's coming back in for his second full pass. Another low approach. Looking nice and stable. Into a high G pullout. And a quick level out. Well done. This time I'd like to do a shout out to our show sponsor, Downwind Sim Binoculars. They are the best binoculars available in any sim. And as you can see, I'm using them myself. A high banked left turn by Mike. Oop, that was my host. I forgot that one. Jeez, I had these all set up and I forgot all about them. How about that? Oh, flaps on. See what he has to do here. I don't know if he's coming in for a landing. Just a low speed, super low pass and stall configuration. Could be anything, knowing Mike. This would be a bad time for a barrel roll, Mike. Don't do it. Well done. Nice low and slow speed, low pass. You can tell the way that the aircraft is kind of just on the verge of stability on that low pass. That was really kind of great to see. I got another note here, guys, by the way. If you buy those Downwind Sim binoculars, you do want to go ahead and order the Corinthian leather carrying case. It comes with a easily removable strap and a nice little slot to put your that little airphone tracker thing. So if you lose them, you can find them with your iPhone. Nice steep left turn. Mike's leveling out for another pass over the field. Nice little wing waggle. Practicing for everybody who flies into Oshkosh. That's the only way you're going to communicate with the air traffic control there. They don't want to have a lot of radio chit-chat, so they would say something like, hey, red, white, and blue, Cessna 170, if you can see us, waggle your wings. Nicely done. Another flight outside the field. They enter the pattern. Guys, if you're interested in joining the Virtual USA Flying Club, we are on Discord. There's a QR code. In fact, if you're looking at my chat, you can just click the link right there on my chat. Again, we are a club that's 600 strong, and we promote GA flying on the VATSIM network. Nice, just doing a rudder kicks back and forth. Kind of gives you a nice understanding of how good the VATSIM network has gotten lately. Now that
2-minute warning.
now that we've got much faster updates, and previous versions, maybe up as short as a year ago, you would not really have been able to see Mike doing the wing wag or the rudder kicks like that. So that's pretty kind of nice to be able to see that in the network. Mike's just given us the air boss has given Mike the 2-minute warning. So he didn't reply that he copied, but since he gave the message to himself, he's probably good. Nice pass over the parade field. You can see that that's C-47 Skytrain sitting there on the ramp. Another beautiful aircraft. We'll see later today. Not sure if Mike's in landing config or just doing another low pass, but it kind of looks like an approach. See that big Virtual USA Flying Club emblazoned on the side of that aircraft? Nice STOL landing into a ground loop. Tokyo drifting. Too bad I can't see the tire smokes and the burnouts. But hey, look at that 2-point. That's awesome. Amazing, amazing. Everybody give them a big round of applause.
Time's up, exit the box. Catalina stage. Oh, roger, Catalina. Catalina, takeoff. Catalina, roger.
Alright, we're looking for the Catalina, and I know I wrote his name down somewhere. Good grief. Maybe the air boss can tell me what the call sign is.
$522.
Let's see if we can find that Catalina. There he is. All right.
Catalina's November 522.
All right, guys, taking the field right now is Nathan Cox.
Extra 300 stage.
His call sign's November 522. He's in a consolidated PBY Catalina. Nathan Cox is a Virtual USA Flying Club admin. He's a virtual air traffic controller at the Atlanta RTAC. He's been flight simming for nearly 2 decades. Nathan enjoys flying helicopters and old propeller airplanes, but his favorite flight sim activity is sitting right seat with his wife Emily while they fly together during Virtual USA Flying Club events. I think that's so cute. The PBY Catalina is an amphibious aircraft that dates back to World War II. The Catalina was produced by Consolidated in the 1930s and 40s.
Catalina, advise and ready. Will advise, Catalina.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Nathan's setting up for his first pass, I just want to give everybody a reminder that the red zone is for the loading and unloading of passengers only, and that there should be no parking in the white zone.
Catalina's turning inbound. Ready. Catalina, cleared into the box. In the box, Catalina.
So as Nathan approaches show center, he's going to push that lumbering Catalina to its top speed. It's going to be amazing to watch this thing go blistering past at 150 knots. It's obviously a flying boat, but you will notice that there is landing gear on the side. So it is capable, it is a true amphibious aircraft. The capabilities of this amphibious aircraft proved it to be an extraordinary versatile tool for Allied militaries in both the Atlantic and Pacific theaters of battle. During the war, the Catalina performed search and rescue, long-range maritime patrol, photo reconnaissance, and anti-submarine missions. It could carry up to 24 hours of fuel. So imagine being in this aircraft for 24 hours, folks. It did have an onboard galley, a refrigerator, and sleeping quarters, which was obviously essential for the crew of 10 that flew on this boat. One of Catalina's most famous missions during the war was in advance of the Battle of Midway. By May of 1942, the U.S. military had broken the Japanese naval codes, which revealed an attack on the island of Midway was imminent. A squadron of the PBY 5A Catalinas was deployed to the island. They began flying patrol missions 600 miles out into the surrounding ocean. On June 4th, 1942, Ensign Howard 80 and his crew, Callsign Strawberry 5, sighted the main body of the Japanese fleet, consisting of 2 carriers, 3 battleships, and 6 to 8 destroyers. The report set into motion a battle which U.S. forces sank 4 Japanese fleet carriers and turned the tide of the war in the Pacific to the Allies' favor. So watch now as Nathan performs his low-speed pass configured for a runway landing. You'll notice the retractable landing gear is now extended for use on land. The PBY does lack leading and trailing edge wing flaps, but its sprawling wing produces more than enough lift for slow flight, like you're seeing now. Nice, slow, super slow flight. A gorgeous bird. Attention on the field, by the way. We're looking for the owner of a white and green Cessna, registration number November 127 Delta Foxtrot. You left your taxi lights on? So the Catalina could also operate as a flying boat. This enhanced its search and rescue role. The aircraft could airdrop life rafts and supplies to survivors to support them until rescue vessels could arrive. The aircraft could even land in the ocean to retrieve other air crews who were bailed out or ditched in the sea. The expansive parasol wing mounted above the fuselage provided excellent visibility to the crew and plenty of lift for slow flight while also keeping the two engines and propellers safely above the sea spray. The two Pratt & Whitney R183092 twin Wasp engines are air-cooled and produce 1,200 horsepower each. These and the three-blade constant-speed propellers powered the Catalina to cruise speeds of 125 miles an hour. That's like 109 knots if you do the math. Over ranges of up to 2,500 statute miles. As Nathan passes show center on this next path, pay close attention to the sculpting of the underside of the fuselage. The shape allowed the smooth and stable operation on the water. The two floats also extended from the wingtips to enhance water stability while preserving the wing's streamlined profile when retracted in flight. The Catalina's biggest successful rescue was of the survivors of the sinking of the cruiser USS Indianapolis in 1945. The cruiser had been sunk by a Japanese submarine. With few lifeboats and not enough life jackets, some 900 crew members were cast adrift after abandoning the ship. 4 days later, one of the first aircraft to spot the survivors was a PBY Catalina on a routine patrol flight. The aircraft dropped a life raft and a radio transmitter and it alerted all available rescue assets to the scene. The first rescuer to arrive was a PBY 5A Catalina. The pilot, Lieutenant Commander Robert Marks, took a vote of his crew and elected to disobey standing orders to not land in the open ocean. Despite 12-foot swells, he was able to maneuver his aircraft and pick up 56 survivors. Within sufficient space in the cabin, Marks ordered men lashed to the wing, making the plane unflyable. His aircraft served as a lifeboat for the remaining hours until rescue ships arrived. For decades after the war, the Catalina continued to be used in search and rescue role while also finding a new mission as a water bomber for aerial fighter fighting. Of the more than 4,000 Catalinas produced, there are now fewer than 20 that still fly today. So get your cameras out and take some stills as Nathan comes back around for his final pass of the performance. At least his performance, not the show. If you don't have a camera, sit back, take in the wonderful rumble of those two Pratt & Whitney radial engines. Or at least imagine what they would sound like if they sounded like
2-minute warning.
Pratt & Whitney radial engine. So here comes his final show pass, guys. Everybody give him a big round of applause. Nice wing wag. Everybody wave. Could also be interesting to check to make sure he remembers to put his gear down when he comes in for this next landing.
Catalina's turn in for the right downwind. Catalina, exit the box. Come in for landing. Extra, you're cleared for takeoff.
Clear takeoff, A-Force Bravo.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, watching the show, we'll be right back in 1 minute.
Change your show title if you have a chance, Jeffrey.
Oh, sorry.
Turning inbound, A4 scrub. Hang tight, we're still waiting for the Catalina to land. If you could just circle out there for a little bit. Just waiting for our next performer to get ready and be able to enter the box as we let the Catalina get on the ground. Extra, you are cleared into the box. The box, extra 300. Next to enter our performance box today is Chris Soja, November 8 for Whiskey Bravo. He'll be flying the Extra 300 with the Virtual USA Flying Club Airshow team livery. Starts off with his first pass in inverted flight. Right down the low approach. Time started. Beautiful inverted flight. Chris is a student pilot at Republic Airfield in New York. He's been flying on the network for about 2 years, mostly flying airliners. But he did get a great recommendation from some pilots about the club, and he wanted to get himself involved, and he's been flying group flights with us ever since. Today he's flying an Extra 300, which is a 2-seat aerobatic monoplane capable of competition in the unlimited category. It was designed designed in 1987 by Walter Extra, a German aerobatic pilot, and it's built by Extra Flugzeugbau. Out there doing barrel rolls. The design of the Extra 300 was based on the Extra 230, an early 1980s monoplane having a wing made of wood. The Extra 300 has a welded steel tube fuselage covered in aluminum and fabric. The midset wing has a carbon fiber composite spar and carbon composite skins. It does have a symmetrical airfoil mounted with a zero angle of incidence, which provides equal performance in both upright and inverted flight, as Chris demonstrated earlier. The landing gear is a fixed tail dragger style with composite main legs and fiberglass wheel pants. My correction. The power plant is a fuel-injected Lycoming 540, which produces 300 horsepower. Another low pass inverted. Oh, he is doing a 8-point snap roll. And into a somersaulting tumble into a helicopter hover landing. Well executed. Now he's doing his
Continue.
downwind takeoff. Nothing to worry about. The good news is, folks, that the extra 300 is
Power
stressed
through, Chris.
for taking
Flat eight.
positive
Power through.
and negative 10
Roger.
Gs with one person on board, and it can do positive and negative 8 Gs with 2 on board. Some extra 300s are registered in the experimental category under a special certificate of airworthiness, while others are type certified in the aerobatic category. There have been about 780 extras produced to date. And ladies and gentlemen, while we're waiting for his next pass, don't forget that the Civil Air Patrol Ladies Auxiliary is giving away free massages at tent number 3. You definitely don't want to miss that. Chris is coming around for his next pass. Get a chance to check out his beautiful virtual USA Flying Club Airshow team livery. Sorry about this, I forgot to turn this off. We'll just do that right now. It's been annoying the whole time. There you go, he's showing us the underside of his wings, showing his colors. Let's see what Chris has in store for us next. He's coming around for his next pass.
I need the Stearman to stage. The Stearman to stage. Roger. Affirmative.
Now he's coming around for one last inverted flight, high-speed inverted flight. Very, very well executed. I don't know if that was a 2-point snap roll or if that was just a vet-simism, but it was a nice recovery.
2-minute warning.
Chris is in his last 2 minutes of the flight. He's getting set up for his final pass. Another aileron roll into inverted flight. This is not time, it's a high pass. And a roll back out to level flight. Well done, sir. Everybody, let's give Chris a big round of applause. That was a nice performance today.
Yeah, time for one more.
The Air Boss has cleared him in for one final pass. Let's see what he does with it. Coming in for his final pass. Steep dive. Yeah.
Extra exit the box, return for landing.
Turn to landing if what's your level.
Stearman, you're clear for takeoff. Stearman, flight clear for takeoff.
Last one. Give us give one last hand to Chris. What a great demonstration of that extra 300 and the virtual USA Flight Club Airshow team. So our next group getting ready to depart for the next show is a trio of Stearman aircraft. Wait for our cameraman to catch up here. They're getting ready for takeoff. While they're taking off, we're going to spawn a 1-minute ad. We'll be right back.
Stearman, take your time setting up, advising ready. Wilco, Stearman flight.
Our next group getting ready to enter the box today is the Stearman Model 75 Performance Team, consisting of Jon Smith, Ben Speidel, and Eric LeMarier. The Stearman Model 75 is a biplane that was formerly used as a military trainer aircraft. There were at least 10,626 built in the United States during the 30s and the 40s. Stearman aircraft then became a subsidiary of Boeing in 1935, widely known as the Stearman, Boeing, Stearman, or Cadet, served as a primary trainer for the U.S. Army Air Forces, the United States Navy, and with the Royal Canadian Air Force as the cadet throughout World War II.
Stearman, when you're ready, you're cleared into the box.
Roger.
So their first path today is going to be a formation loop. When they pass the runway end, they're going to go full throttle down to 500 feet, perform a loop, reestablish at 500 feet, and rejoin. They're going to fly slow at 80 knots back in formation, climbing to 1,000 feet.
Minutes time started.
Oops. This is sometimes what VATSIM will do. Occasionally it kind of gets, when you're doing barrel rolls and back loops, it gets confused as to which orientation the aircraft's actually in. Guy looks like a really killer RC pilot. I think they're reforming to make a group pass. The kite maneuver. Apparently it's called the kite maneuver, the RC air show we just saw.
Switch to the solo.
Which
Roger.
Nine-eight Papa, what we were just looking at there was Jon Smith, goes by Smitty. You're gonna learn a lot more about Jon later because we're gonna see him later in the show.
I think you can zoom in on Ben.
And there's Ben Speidel. He's a longtime Minnesota resident. Never lived more than 2 hours from the Twin Cities. Fell in love with aviation at a young age, and was just left outside of an old farm purchased by a retired Northwest Airlines pilot. His memory of a 4-year-old wanting to be Chuck Doyle in his plane, which was also a Stearman. That's where he realized that the sound of summer is a Stearman doing a run-up. There's that other kite maneuver.
On each pass, you guys should call out who Jeffrey should follow on Airbus frequency, please. We'll go. Call out the last three of the tail number whenever. Simply pop up you focused on.
Alright. So Ben's still on focus here.
Now it's on you, Ben.
Got Stearman buzzing around here like World War I dogfight. That looked like a really well executed implement to me. Well done, Ben. Guys, did you know that Galesburg Municipal Airport holds the current world record for most GA operations in Knox County, Illinois? It's a little known fact.
Focus still on you, Ben. Stay firm.
Setting up on their next pass. Nice barrel roll. Also flying today with us is Eric LeMarier. Eric's been in flight simming for over 25 years. He's a streamer known on the flight sim community as Eric Flight. He's also a real-world private pilot flying GA aircraft. Been a member of the Virtual USA Flying Club for a few years now. He's been known to host group flights with us, organize and host. Looks like they're setting up for another organized pass. They're in nice formation now. Second one. That's Eric now. He disappeared off the wrong thing, yikes.
Guys, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. D47 stage.
C47 stage.
Nice recovery, Eric.
And 7-3 Papa is going individual for Cuban 8. Focus on 7-3 Papa.
And Ben's going to be doing a couple passes by himself. He's flying that beautiful orange and yellow livery. And then got himself into kite mode. It's an amazing performance. Snap out of it, that's him.
Runway 3, hammerhead. Eric Foxtrot. Go Foxtrot.
All right, now here comes Eric in for a hammerhead. Again, be sure to check out Eric at twitch.tv, Eric Flight. Oh, yeah.
2-minute warning. All right.
Well done.
Stearman 98 Pop will be doing a split S runway 3 coming out 2-1.
And here comes Smitty to do a split S for his final individual pass. Everybody give a big round of applause to all three of our Stearman pilots tonight, Ben, Eric, and Smitty. flying the U.S. Navy colors today.
Set time for one more pass. One to go. 673 Papa. We'll follow 73 Papa.
So, ladies and gentlemen, they're about to make their final pass over the field today. I think it was an amazing performance by all three pilots. Really, really great to see these vintage warbirds still in the air. It's a great day for flying, by the way. We ended up with perfect weather today. A few clouds for ambiance, but not in the way. Here they come again, guys, for their final pass. Let's give them a big round of applause as they pass overhead.
Focus on 2A Papa. And if you could, focus on 9 Echo Foxtrot as we go by here. Echo Foxtrot.
There's 9 Echo Foxtrot. Eric's ready to show off something here. That nice livery. Beautiful pass, fellas.
Great performance. You can exit the box. You guys can fly out and just do a 180 to come back to the field. Roger. All right, 180 into the field. C-47, you can take off.
C-47, take off.
All right, we're going to be right back in 1 minute.
Brant, take your time setting up and you let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, we'll let you know, C-47.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next aircraft into the box, getting set up now, is Brant Nyberg. You famously know him on Twitch as Melvin Leroy. Or sometimes we like to say, Melvin Roy.
C-47
Who's
is turning
that?
inbound.
T-47, you're cleared into the box.
Cleared into the box, C-47.
So again, you can find Brant on Twitch TV, Twitch TV/Melvin Leroy. His streamer name is the name of his grandfather, who was the one who piqued Brant's interest in aviation at an early age. And he's coming around for his first pass into the box. Reported to be a high-speed low pass with a high G climb out. Look at that beautiful, that's all, brother. I'm sure the aircraft needs no introduction, but it's a Douglas C-47 Skytrain, also known as the Dakota by the Royal Air Force. It's a military transport aircraft developed from the civilian Douglas DC-3 airliner. It was exclusively used by the Allies during World War II. During the war, the C-47 was used for troop transport, cargo, paratrooper, towing gliders, and military cargo parachute drops. The C-47 remained in the front line of service with various military operators for many years. Our pilot Brant does like to fly a variety of aircraft, but he does have a special place in his heart for vintage planes. He chose the C-47 because of his love for World War II history, especially in terms of its aircraft. It's coming back around for another high-speed low pass. Approximately 100 countries' armed forces have operated the C-470 with over 60 variants. The C-47 differed from the civilian DC-3 by way of numerous modifications, including being fitted for cargo doors, hoist adjustment, and a strengthened floor, along with a shortened tail cone for glider towing shackles and an astrodome for the cabin roof. He put in a note in his bio that it's his first air show and he hopes not to look like an idiot. And without jinxing him, so far, so good. Also, ladies and gentlemen, the Galesburg High School marching band boosters are washing aircraft today until 4:30. Small G aircraft are going to be $30, light twins for $45. Proceeds cover their trip to Florida for marching band next year. During World War II, the armed forces of many countries used the C-47 and modified DC-3s for the transport of troops, cargo, and the wounded. The U.S. naval designation was Romeo 4 Delta. More than 10,000 aircraft were produced in Long Beach and Santa Monica, California. And in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, between March 1943 and August 1945, the Oklahoma City plant by itself produced 5,350 C-47s. Brent's about to do another low pass. This time he's going to do a show-off turn towards the crowd. The specialized C-53 Skytrooper troop transport started production in October of 1941 at the Douglas Aircraft Santa Monica plant. It lacked the cargo door, hoist adjustment, and reinforced floor of the C-47. They only produced about 380.
Say again?
Because all the C-47s were found to be much more versatile. And here he comes on his parade pass. The left turn.
Edge stage, edge 540 stage.
You see that beautiful, that's all
Edge
brother
to
livery.
stage.
And he's coming around for one final low pass. But I do want to talk about that
Hey, Mike.
livery he's flying. It's
Yes.
the
Quad City reports a 1200 code from the
That's
about
all
5
brother
miles to the
over
south,
75 years
west,
ago
I think,
on June 6,
descending through
1944.
75.
This aircraft, the That's All Brother, led the main
Are they trying
airborne
to come in?
invasion of Normandy. It was the first
I haven't heard anything
aircraft,
from them on
across
CTAF, but
the
it
channel.
looks like they're heading this
Piloted
direction.
by
They
Lieutenant
overflew us
Colonel
at
Jon
17,500
Plane led
a few minutes
over
ago.
800
Roger, we'll
C-47s
ignore.
that dropped over 13,000 paratroopers into a battle that changed the course of mankind. 75 years later, they were able to bring this airplane back to the skies over Normandy for the commemoration of the 75th anniversary of D-Day.
Let Moline approach now.
I personally have jumped out of a C-47
I'll let 'em know we're gonna ignore 'em.
about 15 times
Thank you.
during a big party in Zephyr Hills, Florida in
Good morning.
1991.
2 minutes.
I know one person, if he's still watching, we do have a club member that's actually jumped out of this very That's All Brother DC-3. The That's All Brother DC-3 that led the flight into Normandy was actually sold several times and ended up being abandoned, and was luckily recovered and found by two guys that donated it to their museum and fully restored it to flight, and it flies today.
C-47's entering the right-hand traffic pattern.
You're all set? You're all finished?
Affirm, all finished. Charges ready.
Alright, edge 540 you can take off. C-47 you can exit the box.
C-47 exiting the box.
Clear for takeoff, Edge.
540 confirm you're clear to take off.
Edge is clear to take off.
Alright guys, we'll be back in 1 minute.
And there, boss. C-47, we went ahead and made a left-hand turn so we wouldn't get in the way of the departing traffic.
Sounds good. You can come inbound for landing, your discretion.
Roger.
Jeffrey, let them know that this is the last act before a 15-minute break.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back from break, and we just
at that break.
want to let you know that this will be our final performance for this half of the break. After the end of this performance, we're going to be taking a 15-minute break. So grab a snack, work your way to the facilities. And we'll have a countdown on the stream, and you'll know exactly when we're going to be back.
47 left base, 2-1.
Our next pilot.
Attention all aircraft and air boss, this will be the last act before a 15-minute
And Mike,
break.
tell whoever just took off to squawk mode Charlie.
The last aircraft to enter the box today, or for the first half of our show, not today, for this section of the show, is Charles Berry, otherwise known as 7 Charlie X-Ray. And he's a real-life glider pilot. He's got a wife, 2 daughters, 3 grandkids, and 2 dogs. Probably in that order. I'm not sure about that, but I think so. He loves to golf, RC fly, so maybe he'll try to do a back roll and end up doing an RC kite flying. He loves flying an X-plane, and he lives in Central California wine country.
Clear to the box for the edge.
He's flying a Edge 540. So Charles' first pass today, it's going to be the entry pass, and he's going to try to do double loops, a half Cuban to a reverse.
Time started.
Let's go, Betson. That's the Cuban. So you'll notice what he does in a Cuban is does a back loop and then does a half roll out, and now he's in RC mode. Yep, now he's doing out. Now going into his reverse Cuban. The Edge 550 is manufactured by Zivco Aeronautics, and it's a highly aerobatic aircraft, capable of 420 degree per second roll rate and a 3,700 foot per minute climb rate. It's been flown to victory on the International Unlimited Aerobatic Circuit several times since the mid-1990s. Now Charles is coming in to perform a double roll over the field with a half Cuban to reverse. Chuck was born and raised and as a permanent fixture of the Los Angeles area. He lives a short walk from Rat Beach. He's under the Tango Oscar Alpha West departures and LAX Bravo. He's an alumni of Venice High. That was before Olivia and John filmed Grease there. And then UCLA. In the 70s, go Bruins. His next pass is going to be a longer approach inverted over the length of the runway. Then a roll out into a half Cuban. Oh, guys, and before the break, I've just been handed this note. You do not want to use the third porta-john from the left. I understand anybody nearby that the last person in there is expected to make a full recovery. Now this is a vertical climb to a hammerhead stall. Oh, now he's kiting it. RC mode. Whee! That's him. We'll figure it out any minute now. Charles also is a real-world flyer of gliders and has done all manner of remote control projects like slope gliders, thermal gliders, gas, electric. He's flying the Red Bull Racing. It's actually a pretty cool. It's a pretty cool RC performance, if I'm being honest. Oh, thank you. He's back, I think.
You know what's crazy, Jeffrey, is I'm seeing him do it on my sim and Mustfuss. This has got to be an X-Plane CSL thing. Yep.
Yep, this was going to be a hammerhead stall and a dive to the runway, but hopefully it can snap out for his last pass. At least his Red Bull livery looks darn good doing it. And then after this, his final notes. His final notes where he's, after his last pass, he wants to
Edge right traffic for 2-1, that'll do it.
He's going to circle the land and go have a beer.
Hey, just tell you what, fly straight and level for a little bit, and I want you to do your last pass over so we can see if we can work on this VATS and velocity issue. Just fly straight and level for a little bit, you got time, and then come back and try your last pass again.
I didn't quite copy you. Away from the field, is that what you're...
Just fly straight level, doesn't matter where. Just fly straight level for a little bit to the south, and you're going to come from the south and try one more maneuver. We'll see if we can get you squared away here.
Alright, I'll come around one more time.
Per request of the commentator, if you could do the barrel roll on the last pass, if we can get this sorted out. Jeffrey, try switching airplane, see if that helps. Here, when we get to the break, you're gonna probably have to disconnect and reconnect then.
There he goes. There he goes. Perfect timing for his last pass.
One more nice pass, buddy.
And there he goes. There, it's the way it's supposed to go. Well done. And now we're back into what? That's velocity not knowing what to do.
Charles, thanks for humoring me. You're cleared out of the box. You can return for landing.
Clear for landing for the Edge, right traffic 2-1.
Central aircraft, this frequency air boss is going to commence a 15-minute break starting now. 15-minute break starting now. Second half performers, you can move to the ramp. First half performers, you can position yourself on the east side of the runway in the grass. Jeffrey, if you can just announce on the stream the 15-minute break with your commentary, let them know we're going to come back. We've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 performances to go.
Alright guys, we got 6 performances left to go, and we are going to take a 15-minute break. So, you know, go take a break, get some refreshments, but be sure to be back in 15 minutes. We've got another entire half of an air show to go. So we hope to see you soon.
Just be aware that you double dipped that on Airboss, but that's okay. Alright guys, break time. Stretch your legs. Second half performers, please get yourself into the ramp. Michael, you're first in the second half, so you can stage.
Will Cal.
This is already going way better than I thought it ever could, guys, so thank you. And we still got halfway to go.
Been fun, man.
And we've only had one TFR violation.
Which was handled very quickly.
Funny enough, it's actually the ATM of Kansas City.
Make sure to smack him around for me.
Oh, I will.
What was the TFR violation?
It was directly overhead. He descended into it, got down to 4,700.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that guy. Was that when the Stearman were up?
No, I think it was just well, I think it was when Brant was up in the C-47.
It was.
Was it a jet? It sounded like a jet. And
yeah, he's a military jet. And then he called on my frequency a little later. I wanted an overhead break at Moline.
Michael, you're working on staging, correct? Minuck, you're working on staging, correct? He might have stepped away here. It's alright, it's all worked out so far.
I tried to get on the guard frequency, but it wouldn't let me key up.
I think VATSIM kind of prevents it, to be honest. I think that's why we're going to stick with the Unicomp aspect. And your frequency.
Yeah, I know before I was able to do it on center. I think it's like a center dedicated frequency.
At ZTL, we've had people use guard for like legitimate stuff, and them get asked to kindly not do that again by VAT-USA and VATGov people. So we've refrained from doing anything on it since then. I don't even remember what it was. It was like, I think he announced he announced the closure of the tower on like at the end of the service hours or something like they do.
I think they're trying to prevent real world guard from happening with all the meow and all that bullshit.
Looks like chain 1-1's going back down for another TFR bus. Smack him around if he gets in there again. Yep, there he is.
It does seem appropriate that his home airport is KSUS because he's acting kind of sus right now.
Yeah, he dipped down to 4,000 that time and climbed back out. And it seems intentional.
Yeah, that's alright. He is dutifully ignored. Michael Minuck, are you back?
Do performers need to ignore somebody?
Not right now, since we're in the break. The same guy looked like he might have just busted the TFR a little bit again, but again, we'll just dutifully ignore if needed.
Okay. No bent airframes, right?
I think technically Chris had a little bit of an oopsie doopsie, but I think he had crash off, so he was able to just kind of power through.
Nobody saw nothing.
Exactly. Oh, I need Minuck to get back because he's got to be staged and ready to go. He's number 1 on the back end. I actually want him to get airborne soon. Like all. That's a great picture, Rob. Oh my God, Jeffrey, make sure to put that picture on. Rob, can we put that on Jeffrey's stream, Rob? Oh, he's muted. Damn it. Jeffrey, you see that picture of Rob in the GA chat? If you can somehow sneak that onto the stream right before his performance. Roger. Michael Minuck, I need you, buddy. Come back. Jeffrey, you've been averaging about 40 to 50 people watching your stream since it started. Like I said, afterwards we'll get it so that we can either have you directly export it to the Virtue USA Flying Club YouTube channel, or if we're not, well, then we'll download it. You and I are going to work on that after the show. Like immediately after the show.
Mike, did you ever get your storms that you were worried about?
Yeah, it's raining right now, so I'm still hoping that I don't accidentally just disappear on you guys, because it is, I'm getting hit at the moment. So far, so good, though. Michael Minuck, you there? Michael! You killing me, Smalls? He's not in the Discord even anymore. What the hell?
And I'm just gonna taxi across to the grass area. I'm actually in the area still looking at.
Yeah, there's about there's only about 2 minutes left in this break, so hopefully all the second half aircraft are in the ramp, and all the first half guys that are done, if you could kindly get over to the east side into the grass, now is the time. There's 2 minutes left in the break.
Cessna 172, you up on fingers? Mike, you got a contingency plan in case you do lose power?
Yeah, Brent takes over Airboss.
Okay, you got his, personal cell phone number?
I have a cell phone that can get into the Discord. I have LTE. I could just go into Discord and just say Mayday to Brant.
Okay, good. Cessna 172, fingers. Cessna 172 here. 172, you can go ahead and take off. Advisor ready. We'll advise when ready, Cessna 172.
All right, the break is going to be ending here momentarily, everyone, so make sure you're in your positions and get ready for the second half. Jeffrey, you can slow walk the start of the second half because Minuck hasn't gotten airborne yet. If you want, talk a little bit more about the flying club.
Cessna 172, checking off 21. Thank you.
And guys, welcome back. We are about ready to start our second half. We just want to take this moment again to thank VATSIM, VAT USA, the Chicago RTAC, and of course VATGov 12 for allowing us to put this event together. Again, it was under a special request and it went through an approval process, and we're just thrilled to death that they allowed this event to happen today. Again, make sure you check our make sure you check out all of our Twitch streamers, Melvin Leroy, N8033 Fox, Eric Flight, and of course, feel free to visit me anytime you like. As well as our event sponsors, Jet Pilot Cinnamon, VATSIM at vatsim.net, VATUSA at vatusa.net, and Slant Alpha Adventures at Twitch TV Slant Alpha Adventures. We're going to be waiting on Mike Minuck. He's getting ready to perform in his Cessna 182. We're just trying to track him down on the field, and there he is. Ladies and gentlemen, on the flight line, the fine folks at Watson Thomas Funeral Homes over on North Seminary Lane are giving away free fly swatters at their booth. They're also offering a 5% discount of their Peace of Mind Service and Earn package to all experimental aircraft pilots.
When you're ready, you are cleared into the box.
You can't take it with you.
Roger, Cessna 172.
All right, Mike Minuck is getting ready to make his first pass. You can find him on Twitch TV at...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second half of the show.
N8033 Fox. That's November 8033 Foxtrot Oscar X-Ray. And he's going to be our first performer on the second half of the show. He's a real-world student pilot. He's been a GA flight simmer for over 30 years. Mike also has a full Cessna.
Probably wouldn't have advertised the fingers frequency on the stream there, guys. Probably would not have done that.
172 flight pit, or a flight sim pit. So he's got 3 screens and all of the instruments on a board, and he literally flies it in his house like he's in the airplane. He's doing a nice, low, slow approach here into a steep ascent.
Time started.
He's doing a slow prop hang right now. And if he does a successful recovery, he'll do his next magical trick. So to have a nice recovery from that, you'll notice he's flying those beautiful 33 Fox livery. Vet USA logo proudly emblazoned on the underside of his left wing.
That was clean.
Yeah, sure. It was sure a clean prop hang. The Cessna 172 is a Skyhawk, is an American 4-seat, single-engine, high-wing, fixed-wing aircraft made by the Cessna Aircraft Company. It was first flown in 1955. There were more 172s have been built than any other aircraft. It was developed in 1948 from the Cessna 170 that you saw Mike fly earlier today, but this time with tricycle landing gear rather than the conventional landing gear. The Skyhawk name was originally used for a trim package, but was later applied to the all-standard production 172. There are some upgraded versions that included retractable gear known as the Cutlass. There you can see that beautiful Virtual USA Flying Club logo on the top of the wing. Now Mike's going to perform a steep descent and enter into a barrel roll. Hopefully doing 2. Here comes a steep descent. Into a double barrel roll. Now he's going to come around and try to set up for a loop. There's a second barrel roll. Measured by its longevity and popularity, the Cessna 172 is the most successful aircraft in history. Cessna delivered the first production models in 1956, and as of 2015, they've built more than 44,000 aircraft. And it still remains in production today. Michael's setting up to come in to perform his first of 2 loops. The 172 really is kind of iconic. It was used for a primary trainer for years and years and years. It's kind of slowly losing popularity to aircraft
Still
like
is all the time.
22, but it's still probably the most popular aircraft you can find. I think he's setting up for his first loop. So many modifications have been made, or variants for this aircraft. Yay, velocity, well done. Beautiful loop, executed by Mike and demonstrated properly by Velocity on Vetson. Here you can see that Virtual USA Flying Club logo on the underside of the left wing. Now he's setting up for a second loop. And I think we got velocity'd out.
You spoke too soon on velocity.
Plus, I'm in the middle of an ad. I didn't
Spoke
even
too soon.
realize.
Warning, and if you could, you're getting velocity a little bit. If you could do a barrel roll when you get a moment to try and fix it.
Hey, boss, Mitchell 98 Papa radio check. Sorry, but switch sims.
Quitter. Caribou stage.
Roger.
And there he's back.
Michael, if you could just disregard. Disregard.
So everybody, let's give Mike a big round of applause. That was a really, I mean, you know, the Cessna 172 isn't necessarily known as an aerobatic aircraft, but he really demonstrated some great performances, and that spin recovery. And his last low pass.
Cessna 172, you timed it really well too. Your time's up. You can exit the box, make the right downwind.
Exiting for the right downwind 21, Cessna 172.
Caribou, you can take off. And Caribou, air boss, you can take off.
Roger.
And we have a special treat for you today. Our very own Rob Marcinek, flying the Green Lantern. Not only does he have the proper livery, he's got the proper cosplay. I'm going to spawn a, well, no, I can't do that right now. Okay, so, just wanted to give you this information, folks. If you are a Bush pilot and you have big tire envy, stop by Big Teddy's Tundra Tires at booth number 6. Bigger is better.
Rob, do you have the gear down or up?
I'm keeping him down.
Keith.
As we mentioned, Rob,
He's keeping him down in case you didn't hear that.
Marcinek lives in Cleveland, Ohio. He's 54 and is a great-looking guy, as you can tell.
Caribou, you are cleared into the box when you are ready.
He loves the flight sim community and, more importantly, the friends he's made while joining. I know he's been a member of the Virtual USA Flying Club for, I'm not going to say the entire time, but certainly a bulk of the existence, 2.5, 3 years. In fact, I think we both started flight simming around the same time in 2019. Today he's going to be flying the DHC-4, also known as the C-7A Caribou. The de Havilland DHC-4 Caribou is a Canadian specialized cargo aircraft with short takeoff and landing capability. First flown in 1958, and although mainly retired from military operations, it's still in use in small numbers as a rugged bush aircraft. Like the 172 before it, the DC-3 before it, I've also jumped out of this aircraft several times back in the early 90s. Rob is about to perform one of the most iconic maneuvers that can be done in a Caribou, which is the famous wheelbarrow. He's going to make a low approach. He's going to be in a severe nose-down attitude, and he's going to roll his nose gear down the center line of the runway while keeping the mains off of the runway. This might be the pass I've been looking forward to most in this air show. I'm sure I did not jinx it. Now you can see him setting up that steep approach and that nose down angle, full flaps. Ladies and gentlemen, also we found out that you can get 15% off your downwind sim binoculars if you use the discount code Green Lantern. He's setting up a very nice approach.
Time started.
More of a ground clamping issue than anything else, but as you can see, that nose gear just rolls right along the center line of the runway. Rob, I didn't want to spend a lot of money on fuel today, so he's just going to make one more low pass. Rob's also an admin at the Virtual USA Flying Club. He has organized and led a few group flights with the Virtual USA Flying Club. I'm just being told he's actually going to do another pass.
I think he wants one more on that nose landing. He's a showman.
Apparently he feels like he didn't make a perfect wheelbarrow, so he wants to come back around and show how good he is for attempt number 2. Despite what some people say, it's an amazing looking livery. While we're coming around, let's see, we gotta show one more picture. Look at the smile on his face. It's a beautiful thing. Rob is a commercial roofer by trade, so if you're ever in the Cleveland area, be sure to look up, or you won't see him. Looks like he's setting up for the approach.
Mitchell stage.
Roger, Mitchell.
Yeah, that's a ground clamping issue. That is not a Rob issue. Wonder if we can convince him to go gear up and make a nice low pass.
Entering your right downwind.
Alright, Caribou, you can exit the box.
Well done.
So you can
Everybody
take off.
give Rob a big round of applause, guys. And especially for his C7A Caribou.
Okay. Is John having engine issues? I can do a low pass and enter a left downwind.
Make it happen.
Okay.
All right, made a
Jeffrey, the Caribou is going to do one more low pass while John's figuring out an engine issue.
super excited that even though we thought Rob quit, he is going to come back around and make a nice low pass. I was hoping he would go gear up for this, but I guess he's just in a gear down mode today.
Left downwind, 2-1.
Roger.
You did a great job on that. Did a great job on that performance. It's a really, really interesting aircraft.
You might have to fill some time, Jeffrey.
Fields that he can get in and out of that with that Caribou. And in the 90s, as I mentioned before, I was at a skydiving party called the Herd Boogie, which used to happen every year in New Hanover, Pennsylvania. Thousands of skydivers from all over the world would come for that long weekend of skydiving, and that was the featured aircraft. We could get, I think, 27 skydivers in the back of it. And it has that large cargo door, and exiting that aircraft was pretty unique.
How we looking, Mitchell? You still need more time?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, I'll kill some time for you.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, one run and the other one just shut down and I can't figure it out.
Hey, Jeffrey, I'm going to speak on Airboss Frequency through your stream while John's figuring out his issue to kill some time here.
Okay, guys, we've got a special.
I also had an issue and needed to reload.
We've got a special event happening right now. Our very own air boss, Mike Cinnante, has got a few words he'd like to share with the crowd.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Air Boss Mike Cinnante. We are just waiting for John to get the Mitchell sorted. One of the engines doesn't seem to want to cooperate, but in the meantime, I was going to save this for the conclusion, but I might as well do it now. I want to thank everyone that's watching the stream on the JefforyB channel for the Virtuous St. Flying Club. This is hopefully the first annual Virtual USA Flying Club Air Show. I want to thank all the performers for turning out, and of course all the other club members that are spectating and watching the stream tonight, thank you guys so much for being a part of the Virtuous Safe Flying Club. The Virtuous Safe Flying Club is a VATSIM-specific general aviation flying club, so the only stipulation really is that you have to be an active VATSIM member. But if you are on VATSIM and you enjoy flying general aviation, we do about 4 to 6 events a month, all related to general aviation. We don't always do air shows like this. This is obviously a special thing, and I do want to again thank VATGov 12, Roger Curtis, and all the other members of VATSIM government, and also VAT USA as well, for helping us to get the approval for this event. I also want to thank a big shout out to our good buddy Jeffrey here doing the Master of Ceremonies. It's not an easy job to do, especially when we have a little bit of a hiccup going on right now, but really appreciate the work that he's putting in. He's highly entertaining. Make sure if you're not already to follow him on Twitch. But again, back to the Flying Club. We specialize in general aviation events. Founded this club in August of 2019 with the hopes of growing the presence of general aviation on the VATSIM network. And I think between the addition of audio for VATSIM and VATSIM Velocity and the combination of our club and a few others, such as the Pilot Club as well, they also do a great job when it comes to GA stuff. It really has grown general aviation on the network to a much higher level than when I started way back in, oh god, like 2007. So just really proud of all the members of the club, and if you're not already a member, we'd love to have you join up. The link's been floating about in Jeffrey's stream here all night, so consider it. Get on in here. We want you to join us, do some flying with us, make some friends. I've made plenty of now lifelong friends, all of my admin really. I really want to thank them as well for helping me out with the club, so appreciate you guys hanging out for the show. We apologize for the slight delay here. I'm going to check and see if John is ready to go. Mitchell, how are we looking?
Unable. I'm going to disconnect, and if you want me on follow up at the end, I'm going to restart, so just skip me.
Go ahead and reset your sim and let us know when you're ready, boss. We'll take time and wait for you.
All right, guys. So we're on a little bit of a pause here while John gets a chance to reboot his sim and come back in, and we know that it was running earlier today, so that shouldn't be a big issue. So I think what we'll do is do another little fly around here and see what we got as far as the overall look of the field. There's Mike there in the center. You pick somebody over at the ramp. Oh, I know I can focus on here. Let's focus on one of our upcoming performers here. It's going to be the C-130J, Blue Angels Transport. We're looking forward to seeing that guy. We also are looking forward to seeing Nicholas Morelli. He's going to be up on deck 4. He's 9-4 Alpha Mike. He's flying. Don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he's hiding in the hangar. Oh yeah, there he is. He's hiding in the hangar. You can see his nose sticking out right there. All right, he's got his nose sticking out. We're going to have Dave is going to be flying the Mustang. He's parked over here. He's ready to go. Engine's running, so that's a good sign. And we can show you just another quick little flyover of the airport. We'll turn off this thing right here. There we go. You thought we were doing it right. There we go. That's better. Sheesh. I think I knew what I was doing. It does look great, doesn't it? Thanks to 33 Fox. He's actually recreated this airport for us here not that long ago, just in time for this event. So we're waiting for, as we wait for our next aircraft, we're going to do a little bit of a change up in our order here. We're going to lead off the second half with, the second act of the second half with Nicholas Morelli. He's going to be flying that F-16. I think he's getting ready to start that sucker up now. Let's see, that is not him. We need to be over at 4 Alpha Mike, I think. Let's see. He's on the move. Still stuck in a hangar. Might need maintenance to come help with the garage door opener there or something like that. I'm not sure what's going on. But we'll see. We can take a look at, let's see if we got any cool runway locations. We'll do a rundown. Do a little drone shot. Shooting down runway 21. Their drone performance act of the day. When we get down to the other end down to runway 3 end, we'll just bring our drone right on back. Did a snap jump there because the host got impatient. P-51D is looking good. You can see 33 Fox sitting there. P-51D. Looks like we got another Cessna 172. Maybe King Air, and there you go, right out of the hangar. I do have to make a program note, folks. That is pretty loud, right? The air. Let me know if that's the right volume level for the air boss right now. Just give me an idea in chat. So here's just a program note for Nick Morelli's run. This looks a lot like an F-16 Air Force Thunderbird, but it is in fact a Hookr Hunter. I wasn't going to respond to chat, but Steve PHL just dropped a 5-bomb, so I have to say something nice about Steve. I can't thank you enough for that, buddy. So, Nick Morelli is a 30-year-old sim pilot. He's been flying on sims since the early 3000s. So I'm going to have to switch back to my other camera, and this is going to take a hot minute. We did that wrong. So let's see, where is he at? There he is, doing his takeoff. He's going to, first maneuver he's going to attempt is the low, slow, and dirty. So it's going to be flap speed brakes out. Oh, there we go, thank you for that. No, I just got a programming note that my nameplate was wrong. Yep, so we've got Nicholas Morelli, November 394, Alpha Mike, flying the Hookr Hunter. And like I said, it is showing as an F-16, but he is actually flying the Hookr Hunter. Again, his first maneuver in the Hookr Hunter is going to be the low, slow, and dirty. Flaps down, speed brakes on. This is going to be your best opportunity for your for photos of this aircraft. After that, he's going to be coming in screaming hot. The Hookr Hunter, by the way, is a transonic British jet-powered fighter aircraft. That was developed in the late 40s and early 50s, designed to take advantage of the newly developed Rolls-Royce Avon turbojet engine and a swept wing. It was the first jet-powered aircraft produced by Hookr to be procured by the RAF on September 7th, 1953. The first prototype broke the world air speed record for aircraft, achieving a speed of 727.63 miles per hour. Here he comes in his first photo pass. Beautiful, beautiful slow pass. I got it turned down too much. I was told the mix was good. It was not good. I blame chat. The single-seater Hunter was introduced to service in 1954 as a maneuverable day interceptor aircraft, quickly succeeding first-generation jet fighters, such as the Gloucester Meteor and the de Havilland Venom. The all-weather night fighter role was filled by the Javelin. He's coming back in for a Blue Note pass. It's a high-speed pass, creating a sound the Hookr Hunter is known for, called the Blue Note. I should have, oh. I could have done my slide missile here. That was the Hookr Hunter Blue Note. His next pass is supposed to be a loop pass, but I would suggest the air boss tell him, you might want to tell him to do the loop pass last. So his next one, hopefully he can burn the speed off to do a slow roll pass.
I think he copied to the loop last because of that velocity.
So he's coming in for, I think, what's going to be his loop pass? Or not loop pass, I'm sorry, slow roll pass. Yeah, that's a slow roll pass. Just because of velocity, we've asked him to do his loop pass last. Very nicely done. It's a good looking bird. Late in the 1960s, following the introduction of the supersonic English electric lightning in the interceptor role, the Hunter transitioned to being operated as a fighter bomber and for aerial reconnaissance missions. They used dedicated variants for that purpose. The two-seat variants remained in use for training and secondary roles with the RAF and the Royal Navy until the early 1990s. 60 years after its original introduction date, it's still in active service, being operated by the Lebanese Air Force until 2014. Comes an Immelman pass to a reverse direction. Fingers crossed on velocity. There's a nice little rollout. And guess what? Hopefully when he levels off, he'll be able to do a quick barrel roll that should hopefully fix velocity.
Yeah, and they try and barrel roll it, see if they can fix it.
The Hunter saw combat service in a range of conflicts with several operators, including the Suez Crisis, the Aden Emergency, the Sino-Indian War, the Indo-Pakistani War of 1965. Looks like he is velocityed out. The Second Congo War, the Six-Day War, the War of Attrition, and the Yom Kippur War. Overall, 1,972 Hunters were manufactured by Hookr Aircraft, and it's a success for Hookr Siddeley, as well as being produced under license overseas. In British service, the Hunter was replaced in its principal roles by the Lightning, the Harrier, and the Douglas F-4 Phantom. Now he's going to try, I think the attempt is low approach, go around, high performance, climb out. And then his last pass, I hope, will be his loop pass.
Minute warning.
There goes that gear up. And he's going to perform a go around with a high performance climb. Somewhere somebody's yelling, Yahoo! Hunters used to be used by two Royal Air Force display teams, the Black Arrows, who on one occasion looped a record-breaking 22 Hunters in formation, followed later by the Blue Diamonds, who flew 16 aircraft. Overall, it eventually served a total of 21 overseas air forces. This is going to be our final pass. Our final pass. Performed by Nicholas. It's going to be his loop pass. 50-50 shot. It's going to end up in a RC kite maneuver. But hey, that's entertaining too. And away he goes. And as we predicted. Oh, whoop, there he goes. Well, maybe. Could be.
Alright, Hookr, you can exit the box and join the right down.
Hookr joining right down, win for 2-1.
Alright, we'll be right back after this ad break.
Mitchell clear for takeoff.
And I'm pretty sure it's the same guy that does both. Yeah, I think it's Ross does both.
P51, you can go ahead and stage. Roger.
box. Mitchell cleared into the box.
All right, our next aircraft, our next pilot cleared into the box is none other than Jon Smitty Smith. We all know him by Smitty. He's November 6298 Papa. He's been flying virtually ever since the very first Microsoft Flight Simulator was released. His father was a real-world private pilot, but his father struggles in the simulator compared to real-world flying. Smitty's used the tool to understand how aircraft flew and how to navigate them, and to this day, Smitty flies with his 82-year-old father and their 1980 Mooney M20K. He's an admin of the Virtual Flying Club and the Voyager Virtual Airline. He's flying a P25 Mitchell today. The North American B-25 Mitchell is an American medium bomber that was introduced in 1941 and named in honor of Brigadier General William Billy Mitchell, a pioneer of U.S. military aviation.
Time started.
Nice low approach pass. He's working his way back around for his second pass. Used by many Allied air forces, the B-25 served in every theater of World War II, and after the war ended, many remained in service, operating across 4 decades. Produced in numerous variants, nearly 10,000 B-25s were built. It's coming back around for a parade pass. Again, guys, Smitty is an active member and admin of the Virtual USA Flying Club. Has put together and hosted a few group flights, so just keep an eye on my chat where the link is constantly popping up on how to join the Virtual USA Flying Club. Really, the only requirement is that you are a member of VATSIM in good standing and that you have a love for general aviation. And Smitty's coming around for his third pass. Some of the variants that were built for the B-25 Mitchell include several limited models, such as the F-10 reconnaissance aircraft, the AT-24 crew trainers, and the United States Marine Corps PBJ-1 patrol bomber. In fact, I think the PBJ, if I'm not mistaken, took over that principal role from the Catalina that we saw in the first half of the air show today. If anybody attended Flight Sim Expo in Houston a few short weeks ago, there was the opportunity to get a flight on this bird. Just a quick reminder, guys, the white zone is for loading and unloading of passengers only. There is no parking in the red zone. Smitty's coming back around for another pass. Really a perfect day for flying here at the air show. Extremely lucky in that regard. It's great seeing all these old vintage aircraft. Old vintage and new aircraft parked in the ramp area. Now he's doing an overpass of with the left bank parade pass.
Two-minute warning.
Roger. This is my last pass.
Understood.
You guys might remember this aircraft was also the aircraft involved in that famous Doolittle raid, where Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Doolittle attacked the mainland of Japan 4 months after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. It was basically a one-way trip. The raiders took off from the carrier USS Hornet, bombed Tokyo and 4 other Japanese cities. 15 of the bombers subsequently crash-landed en route to recovery fields in eastern China. The losses resulted in the task force being spotted by a Japanese vessel, which forced the bombers to take off 170 miles early, fuel exhaustion, stormy nighttime conditions, and zero visibility, along with the failure to activate electronic homing aids at the recovery bases. Only one B-25 bomber landed intact in Siberia, where its 5-man crew was interned and the aircraft was confiscated. Of the 80 aircraft members that took off that night, 69 survived their historic mission and eventually made it back to American lines. So guys, as Smitty comes through for his final pass, let's give him a big round of applause. Smitty and his B25 Mitchell. Wing wag.
Alright, Mitchell, you can exit the box.
Exit box, Mitchell.
51, you can take off.
Cliff takeoff, Mustang.
I'll call you Mustang, that sounds better.
Okay, we're going to be right back after this short break.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Our next aircraft to approach the field as soon as our Mitchell gets on the ground is going to be Dave W. Flying the P-51 Mustang, Big Beautiful Doll.
Mitchell, is the field clear? Am I good for landing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry about that. Just do a quick left turn and then come in.
There's a Dave out there waiting for his call from the air boss to enter the box. Just waiting for Smitty and his Mitchell to get safely on the ground here. I've just been informed, by the way, that Billy Mitchell, who they named that B25 off of, or for, is also the name of, oh shoot, what airport was I told? Who's got that note? Milwaukee, that's right. Milwaukee, Mitchell Milwaukee Airport. Same namesake.
Oops.
Just give us a few seconds, folks. We're just getting the aircraft staged where we need them to stage before we can start our next performance. It's a P-51D Mustang, so this one's going to be worth the wait. You guys don't forget about downwindsim.com. It's actually where you can find out about not necessarily a virtual USA flying club, but certainly a lot of the members like to join up on the first Monday of every month for the Bush League Series, hosted by Melvin Leroy, Downwind Sim. You can go to downwindsim.com and also keep a close eye on the Melvin Leroy channel. Follow him, look for his Discord. There's a lot of announcements about the Bush League Series on Melvin Leroy's Discord channel.
Alright, Mustang, you are cleared into the box. Cleared into the box, Mustang, roger.
Okay, so I'm told now that the Mustang's been cleared into the box. I'm going to Dave W., who's flying our Big Beautiful Doll today, is a computer nerd by day and an airplane nerd on the weekends. He's been flying on flight simulators since the Bruce Artwick FS 2.0. He likes to fly almost anything from ultralights to airliners, but lately he's been fixated on backcountry and off-airport flying. Outside of the sim, he's a dad of 3 with great kids, an outdoor enthusiast, and an amateur luthier and musician. He's going to try anything once except skydiving. Well, I did the skydiving 121 times, so on average, that's about 60 each. His first pass today is going to be a low-altitude, high-speed pass into a full Cuban 8, followed by several barrel rolls to fix velocity. Again, a full Cuban 8 as he goes inverted, then barrel rolls out into another loop, and then barrel rolls out. And so far, so good. Knock on wood. That's the first half of the Cuban 8. That's the Cuban 4, I think they call it. I'm sure they don't call it that. I just made that up on the spot. Into his second half of the Cuban 8 loop. And my goodness, it survived the velocity test. Well done. The P-51D Mustang, produced by North American Aviation, is an American long-range single-seat fighter and fighter bomber used during World War II and the Korean War, among other conflicts. Mustang was designed in April 1940 by a team headed by James Kindleberger. Now here comes Dave performing a 4-point roll. Beautifully executed. Mustang was designed to use the Allison V1710 engine, 1710 engine, which had limited high-altitude performance in its earlier variants. The aircraft was first flown operationally by the RAF as a tactical reconnaissance aircraft and fighter bomber, known as the Mustang Mark I. Placing Allison with the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine resulted in the P-51BC, transformed the aircraft's performance to altitudes above 15,000 without sacrificing range. Here Smitty's doing an 8-point roll. Actually, I'm sorry, that was his barrel roll, folks. Dave, did I say Smitty? I apologize, Smitty. It's Dave. I apologize, Dave. All right, he's coming back around for his next pass. I think this is going to be an 8-point roll. I think he did a loop. He did a loop, so hopefully he does a barrel roll soon.
Dave, you're gonna have to barrel roll yourself out of the velocity glitch. Need to recover, it started to spin. Roger.
At the start of the Korean War, the Mustang, by then redesignated the F-51, was the main fighter of the United States until jet fighters, including North American's F-86, took over that role. The Mustang then became a specialized fighter bomber. Despite the advent of jet fighters, the Mustang remained in active service with air forces until 1980s. After the Korean War, Mustangs became popular Civil War birds and air racing aircraft, as seen here today. Another barrel roll.
I'll skip the half Cuban and see if that doesn't make this better.
Now Dave's coming around for his next pass. That's his inverted pass. Performed beautifully. Dave was hoping to be able to do Cubans at the end of every pass, but based on velocity, he's just going to do something a little more conventional. And now he's coming around, I think, for his last and final pass, which should be a beautiful knife edge photo pass. So get your cameras ready. And here comes his knife edge photo pass. Everybody give Dave a big round of applause. Beautiful, beautiful demonstration of the power of that powerful old fighter.
Yeah, you can go ahead and straight in then. Well, the last act has to take off anyway to start his performance. So we'll wait until you land. Laugh at my porpoising.
All right, guys, we're going to take a 1-minute break. We'll be right back.
Albert, you can line up. Fat Albert.
Okay, guys, our last and final performance of the evening is our Virtual USA's Flying Club own Callsign Hookr. You might be a little bit wondering why he's Callsign Hookr, but he is a real-life pilot for the U.S. military. He flies an aircraft very similar to this guy, and that's all he can tell us without having to kill us. So he's going to start the show with Fat Albert's famous Fat Albert takeoff. The pilot's going to rotate Albert at 80 knots. He's going to stay 4 to 5 feet off the ground in ground effect for a long float, then clean up, gear up, and reach 175 knots, pitching up to 55 degrees. Navy, Fat Albert Airlines actually operates the United States Marine Corps C-130J with 4 Rolls-Royce turboprop engines capable of more than 18,000 pounds of thrust each. Fat Albert Airlines is actually critical to the overall mission of the Navy Blue Angels team. The C-130 joined the team in 1970 as their support aircraft. And in addition to being its opening attraction at air shows across the country, Fat Albert's primary mission is to transport the 35,000 pounds of cargo and 60 Blue Angel team members to every show throughout the country. So Hookr's next pass is going to be coming in from right to left for a parade pass at 300 feet. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I have watched him in practice do a wheelbarrow approach in this one guy. I don't know that it's officially sanctioned in the aircraft, but I've seen it done. He's coming around for his second pass now. Really is an elegant looking aircraft. So this parade pass, he's going to do a left bank turn after his right bank turn. And exit over the terminal building. Great shot to take photos. By the way, guys, if you're making long flights in small aircraft, you want to check out the G-Wiz catheter table at booth number 5. Their Airshow special is buy 5, get 3 free, so take advantage of that today. All right, guys, Fat Albert's coming back around for his third pass. It's going to be a flat pass at 100 feet, approximately 100 feet AGL at about 320 knots. So this is what we would call a high-speed, low pass. After which he's going to do a 45-degree climb to 2,500 feet AGL and come around for his fourth pass. You can see it picking up speed now, lining up for his low approach. Into his 45-degree climb. It's going to climb to 2,500 feet AGL in the left pattern. Then what he's going to do is do a head-on crosswind pass at about 250 AGL, doing 280 knots. Crossing center stage area, and then that famous Fat Albert climb out. And then finally, he's going to be setting up for his last maneuver of the day and the closing maneuver of the first annual inaugural Virtual USA Flying Club Airshow. He's going to enter a 2 nautical mile final at 1,800 AGL and set up for a tactical landing. A short field tactical landing basically means he's going to be pitched down steep, flare out at the last second, and stop it as quickly as he can. This was a maneuver commonly used when they had short, soft fields that were steep approaches in combat zones. There he's leveled off and setting up. Full flaps. Now, it's amazing juxtaposition from that high-speed pass he did a couple passes ago to this low and slow lumbering beast. Should expect to see him pitch down. Yep. This must look like you're flying straight into the numbers here. And then the flare out and getting her down. And if we're very, very lucky, he'll do a little wheelie hop salute for the crowd as he backs into his parking space. Look for that wheelie. There you go, guys. Everybody, let's give a big round of applause to Captain Callsign Hookr and his Fat Albert C-130.
Performers, please join the runway next to Fat Albert for the airshow photo. Again, all performers, please line up on the runway for the airshow photo. That's going to be right at the runway intersection is where I want everyone to meet. The performers. For all the ladies and gentlemen that were watching on the JefforyB stream, thank you very much for tuning in to the first annual Virtue USA Flying Club Air Show. It was a great treat. It went way better than I expected. So thank you for coming out. Hopefully we're going to get this loaded up onto the Virtue USA Flying Club YouTube channel so you can run it back at your leisure. Right now I'm just having all the airshow performers meet at Show Center for an air show. And I'll leave it to Jeffrey for some closing remarks on the Virtue USA Flying Club and on the air show this evening.
So guys, I'd like to thank everybody that showed up today, whether you're a performer or audience member or just joining in on the stream, not knowing what you were going to expect. But this is our first annual inaugural Virtual USA Flying Club Air Show. We were very fortunate to get the approval of VATSIM at the highest levels, VATGov 2, VATGov 12. VATGov 12. We also got the cooperation of VAT USA, especially the cooperation of the Chicago Arctic. And we're really thrilled to have you all come out and participate in the air show however you did it. Again, this was put together by Mike Cinnante for the Virtual USA Flying Club. It is a a very, very active club for general aviation enthusiasts on the VATSIM network. We would hope anybody that's interested in joining, all you need to be is a member of good standing in VATSIM itself, and obviously have a love of general aviation. So really, thanks again. I'm going to take a few screenshots here so we can get our final photos in, and then we're going to thank you guys all once again. All right, well, just let. All right, we're still gathering. Just tell them to slew if they have to. All right, Mike, Tree Fox coming in. All right, we're taking our last screenshots. And we'll just do it that way. All right, guys. Sure, we're going to get some different angles. What the heck happened there? That's Tree Fox, so we should be good there. Awesome. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up. Hello? My computer? Okay, there we go.
All right, all performers, please clear the runway and enter the taxiways back to the ramp carefully so that we don't run into each other. At this point, we consider the TFR closed and the airfield open for normal operation.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again for watching the stream with us today, participating in the first annual and inaugural Virtual USA Flying Club Air Show. It was really a pleasure to host it with you. I think all of our pilots did a fantastic job, and of course, Mike for keeping everything so organized was fantastic as well. Hopefully you'll come back and watch a couple other streams, and also please watch the streams of all the other guys that supported this flight today. So I'm going to do a couple last shout outs. Let's see, we had Eric Flight, we got Melvin Leroy, we got Jet Pilot Cinnamon, we got Downwind Sim, I think. We got November 8033 Fox. I'm going to go find somebody to raid might be fun. Well, thanks guys, I appreciate it. All right, I might stream tonight. We'll see if I can get permission because I streamed today, but if not, we'll see you next Wednesday. And I'm going to start this raid, and then I'm going to be helping Mike get this video done. So we'll see you guys next time.